Alright, so welcome to a new idea that we are thinking about, a new idea that we are, putting on stream. So I've launched my STEM club some time ago, Wayne Thompson STEM Club, and on the channel there have been lots of videos, there have been book reviews and stuff like that. What we're going to do is to basically merge it with KRWSTEMTV. So when you type in Wayne Thompson STEM Club, of course you will get everything KRWSTEMTV related. Alright, so of course one department of KRWSTEMTV is Robotics, AI and Games Activities. Of course this will be for both teachers and students. These are the different robotics platforms that we will use. And of course, very consistently, we are going to dive into Arduino-based coding with Tinkercad. But not only Arduino-based coding, so there are, of course, lots of channels that teaches you how to code on Arduino and stuff like that. And lots of channels that, shows you robotics and stuff like that. So the main idea of the channel is to show how we will use robotics in the teaching and learning idea. For example, we will be playing around with a lot of the formulas that you guys do in school. So formulas in mathematics, formulas in physics, and formulas in other courses that you may do. And of course, when we are introducing the formulas, we will of course, alright, so when we're introducing the formula, we will of course state the subject area, etc. And of course, these are activities that students can do in school. In terms of some of the things that we promote, and we will promote on KRWSTEMTV, is these two robotics books that we have. So inside the books, you will have lots of activities, and these activities are, science-based activities. So you can do experiments on speed, velocity, acceleration, vectors. And there is an entire book review that was done. So you guys can, go to my STEM channel and of course, you will see that review as well. Alright, so an entire book review was done. What all of the chapters of the books were about, and of course, alright, how the book can be used in classes, in the teaching and learning environment as well. So we are looking at robotics from a different angle. We're looking at robotics as a laboratory tool. And of course, it will be programmed as such. And of course, the different chapters in the book carry you through the different activities. So this is another book, STEM Games and Activities Using Robotics. In this one, you will find, of course, there are robotics related activities, and of course, there are activities on Tinkercad. And of course activities from a scratch-based perspective as well. So this one is for the younger kids, and of course this is another book that we will be talking about, and we will use this extensively on KRWSTEMTV. Alright, so what are some of the physical robotics platforms that we've been using? So for example, we have this underwater robot that we designed using pipes, and of course this is from the Sea Perch Robotics Kit. And of course one of the amazing things in robotics is the interdisciplinary approach. So what you will see is in constructing this robot, this book, there are some activities in the book, so students can talk about drag forces, they can talk about upthrust, they can talk about speed, velocity and acceleration, they can see the effects of ocean currents. And all of those academic activities can be done. The next thing that can be done, alright, so one of the things that KRWSTEMTV did was to partner with local companies, and of course we did underwater robotics competitions as well. So students were able to race the robots, and of course our programming box was placed on the robots where students could write code to allow their robots to make different maneuvers in the water. Forward, backward, turn left, turn right, and reverse functions. All of those were on the robot as well. So these are some of the underwater activities that, of course, we will do, so this is from the edutainment part of things, and of course from a school perspective, students and teachers can explore the different concepts in school: drag forces, speed, velocity, acceleration, Newton's laws of motion, etc. So when the motors spin fast, you can observe the acceleration of the robot. When the motors are spinning slow, we can observe the acceleration as well. In terms of the relationship between voltage and rotational speed, all of those things comes to mind. So when one is reading a physics book, what normally happens is there is a lot of theory, and of course what this entire platform and what this entire podcast, what this entire channel will seek to do is to bring relevance, right, from a practical perspective of all of the theoretical approaches that we'd have been doing in school. Alright, so these are different underwater games, and of course you can do underwater fishing. So there are so many different aspects of the competition that can be done using these underwater robots. And of course, in terms of an education content, so on the right over here, these are some other platforms that we will use. This is a platform that was assembled by us at KRWSTEMTV, and of course it's equipped with a monitor to display things that students would be doing in school. For example, on screen now is the formula for pressure, and of course they can input certain values, so they can input the force in the air, and of course the code will compute the pressure and display the value on all of that stuff. What we will see also, alright, is that we are going to be using the formulas to do automation. So we are going to be using the mathematics formulas, the physics formulas to control lights. We're going to use it to control motors and stuff like that. What do I mean? I will demonstrate. Well, just before I demonstrate, for example, if you calculate the pressure, so on my code, I would have, say, for example, pressure is equal to force over area. If the pressure exceeds a certain value, I can allow lights to blink. If the pressure is below a certain value, I can allow the lights to do something else. And so what we can see here is that students can begin to understand that some of these mathematical formulas can be coded in computers, and then the formulas, the results of the formulas, can be used to control real-world devices, and that will be demonstrated as well. In terms of the land robots, coding, obstacle avoidance, robotics game, investigation of motion, of course, we will explore energy and many more. And of course, there'll be, again, competitions. There are different types of competitions that we will enter. And of course, in these competitions, students will program the robot to do different types of maneuvers. And of course, there will be the remote control challenge as well. Alright, so here locally, so these are some of the prices that you will see for some of our robotics offerings. And this is just the robotics department at KRWSTEMTV, and on the podcast through KRWSTEMTV. So we'll be talking about different things as well. So not only robotics, not only coding, not only electronics automation, not only gaming in Scratch as well, and of course in the future gaming on different platforms, but also general electronics, which is another department, electronics repair, laptop repairs, stuff like that. You know, things to look out for in your general domestic appliances, etc. Alright, so in terms of motion experiment, so for example, you have a class and of course you want to come and do some motion experiments in robotics, and these are the prices. For example, mathematics experiments and activities that you can do. These are also the prices here, shown here. Electronics equipment, in terms of doing electronics automation and, you know, having the practical aspect to the theory that you study in school. These are all of the prices shown here as well. So sign up, subscribe, follow me on my channel, Wayne Thompson STEM Club, which of course will be rebranded KRWSTEMTV. How the schools can benefit from, especially the robotics idea, you know, how the schools can benefit. if you purchase, say, a package, so you can have robotics competition at your sports day. All right, for the robotics book, you can have robotics book rental, so you can buy the book once, I should say, and then now you can rent the book yearly. All right, so in terms of robotics and STEAM class in the day, that's another benefit that the school will have. And of course, you will have your robotics club, and of course, your robotics club can bring well-known relevance to the different schools. For example, in the different competitions that the schools enter here, for example, Jamaica Energy Partner Robotics Competition, and of course the Red Spring Robotics Competition as well. And of course, there are external robotics competition as well that you can take part in, and of course there's prize money, etc., etc. So these are some of the ways that schools can benefit from robotics. What we want to do though, all right, one of the mandates of KRWSTEMTV is to kind of have robotics, automation, and tech to permeate the society. So of course we'll try to have robotics at the beach, robotics on the malls, etc. All right, so thank you for stopping in, tuning in, and of course there will be more to the channel to come. Okay, so this is the Tinkercad software. So on Tinkercad we are going to be doing lots and lots of designs. All right, so I think here is a platform where students can really use to have a hands-on understanding of the different areas that they will be doing. And of course, I'll just do a walkthrough of some of the different circuits in my introduction. So these are some of the different circuits that we have designed, and of course we will click on in future videos and go through in details. So at the top, for example, a student wants to design a robot, and of course you may not have all the parts, but what we do have is some of the things right here in Tinkercad that we can just design the skeleton. All right, so after designing the skeleton, all right, you can, of course, you have a motor controller here, motor drive shield, and of course you have two motors here, and of course you have an external power, and you have your Arduino board, and we can write code to program the robot to do various things. And so right now we have a demonstration code, and of course in the future this is going to be our playground. So the robot that we'll be talking about is to write code, and of course I'll put in functions for the robot to move forward. So the motor should be spinning in a certain direction. I'll put in functions for the robot to move backwards, so it will be spinning in the opposite direction. And I will have functions for the robot to stop all its motors, turn left, turn right, and all of that stuff. So Tinkercad, so this is another platform that we will use, and of course we are going to be going deep per se in Tinkercad. So it's not only about to say, okay, program and design and leave it there. So some of the principles that you do in school, voltage, current, resistance will be explored. How motors work will be explored. All right, factors that affects the speed and rotation of motors will be explored. And so this is the other platform that we will be using at KRWSTEMTV. All right, so there will be explanation of transistors. We look at how transistors work, and of course the next thing that we will do is that we will look at the Scratch environment and see how we can do game development in Scratch and animation as well. And of course all our games and our animations, what we will do with our games and animation is to link it to the different concepts that we're learning in school. So we're designing based on concepts. All right, so thank you. And of course you will be seeing many more things on this channel. So Wayne Thompson STEM Club, KRWSTEMTV. All right, so until then, I would like you to keep STEMing and keep STEAMing.